Kalimera, kalispera, kalinikta. No matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be, thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your night. Woo! We made tapas out of Atletico Madrid. Let's rock and roll, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
It's one of those European nights where you remember exactly where you were. What a majestic performance. 13 minutes of pure magic and mayhem for Atletico Madrid. Welcome to the post-game show with myself and, of course, my wingman on the post-game shows this season, Mr. James Johnson.
Hello, hello. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
James, let me welcome our audio listeners as well on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you take your pleasure in listening and enjoying, hopefully, the Highbury Squad episodes on audio platforms. You'll be enjoying this one tonight, I'm sure, just like everybody who's joined in the YouTube live section, including our Chief Like Officer, Tammy Steels. Hit that like button. I have no complaints. This show may be the quickest post-game show in the history of the Highbury Squad. James, what a night for the Gunners. A signature statement win. We're so boring.
Oh, Sophie, you know, like I said before we went on here, it was only a fortnight / 3 weeks ago that we spoke about that win against West Ham, and we both come to the conclusion that someone is due a pasting. You know, we might not be scoring as many as we deserve at the moment, but someone is due a pasting. It's eventually going to click and someone's getting a slap down. I didn't think it would be Atletico Madrid. I mean, we spoke about it, didn't we? You know, this was good. This was the barn burner. This was, you know, they've been reading Sun Shao's Art of War all week, both of them, about, you know, defensive strategy, offensive strategy, you know, who's going to do that, you know, 4D chess, all of it. Didn't put the water on, all of that stuff yesterday. And yeah, I think Arteta ripped up the book, and like you said, tapas, Argentinian steak, whatever one you want to. It was an absolute cooking.
Slice it any way you want, James. Slice it any way you want. Here's what I love about this the most. The first half I thought was even in the end. I thought we started off incredibly explosively well. There was no doubt that we wanted to take the game to them, get an early goal. Saka in the first 25 minutes was unplayable. Absolutely brilliant from him. We had a bit of a dodgy moment with David Raya. That could have been a lot different. Probably the biggest hiccup of the match. But I thought it was even. What I love is what happened at halftime. For our team, those players to come out the way they did and completely dominate, all but a Julian Alvarez incredible effort that hit the post. Could have been different. But what happened at halftime, and I think we're seeing a pattern of where you've got to kind of look to the manager and the players and how they regroup within that time frame, and then to come out and absolutely dominate a Diego Simeone team, James. It to me, it's incredible. I would love to be a fly on the wall during halftime in this particular match.
Yeah. I mean, normally I would say to you, like, what would be said at halftime? You know, like you said there, you'd love to be a fly on the wall, but it just it reminded me very much of Fulham. So I thought at Fulham we were doing really, really well. Just there was just no finishing. Again, Saka just completely dominant, but just nobody was finishing the chances that he was laying up. And then there was a few rickets, like in the Fulham game. You know, Raya had the one where the kid had the cross-come shot and he managed to dip it over the bar, and it was like, well, that's a warning. But this lot now, I think compared to before, where stuff like this is happening, and then all of a sudden when the teams get their big chances and they score that one goal, and then we have to chase, they're not scoring that one goal. We're just so resolute and so good that it's like, yeah, you're not getting that one goal anymore, and we can just keep doing what we're doing, even though we're boring. Even though we score 76% of our goals from set pieces, and yet, we're still doing the biz.
Yeah, it's really unreal. There's a lot of the cold shower comments. I love it. Keep them coming. Complaining about the old cold shower, and just laughable, really. I mean, they're going to find something to complain about. All of a sudden, every single picture that I have posted in this for the show today is not here. It's quite unbelievable, really. Technology letting me down. But the starting 11 did not let Mikel Arteta down. David Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly chosen as the left back today. Rice, Zubimendi, Eza, Saka, Martinelli, rightly getting another shot in the Champions League where he's been so effective, and Gyokeres. I'm going to start with... I don't know where... Okay, so it's really hard to kind of talk about the players when really I thought everyone was superb today, right? In different facets of the game. But for me, one of the big highlights before we get to Gyokeres is the Miles Lewis Skelly run for the Martinelli goal. I just thought that was beautiful. These are the types of moments where people are complaining about that we're not doing enough of. And for me, Martinelli, whether it's the Eza pass and the run through, the Miles Lewis Skelly run, the pass and the finish, did a little bit of a Thierry lean and tucked it away in the corner. I thought the run was sensational. Miles Lewis Skelly taking his opportunity Mikel gave him this evening, and Martinelli once again absolutely finding a clinical finish, James.
Yeah, it's a superb goal. And, Miles Lewis Skelly, bless him, he's gone from having a starting berth at left back. I mean, you could actually, I'm going to cut myself off here. You could say it for both of those lads. They both had the starting berth in that left side positions last season. This season, they've hardly got anywhere near the minutes that they're used to. Neither of them have complained. Neither of them moaned. And then every time that they've had to come in and step in, they've done the business. And they've done it again tonight. I mean that in the first half with Lewis Skelly, where he completely just wrapped himself around Simeone's son and threw him on the ground because he was clean through. we had John Champion and Alan Shearer on the comms here on Amazon, and Shearer went, people aren't going to like that, but he said that's really smart. He said that's a really smart, because he went, it's early in the game, he knows he's got one, and if he does it again, he said that's brilliant. He said I can see why Simeone's going mental, but he went, he said that's a really smart foul. No, I agreed. I was like, do you know what?
Sometimes you have to have those moments sometimes. Yeah.
Flamini used to be the man for it. He's like, I ain't got the pace, so I'm just going to grab him and I'm going to throw it. And he's like, yeah, hold my hands up. I'm guilty. Let's move. Keep the, reset, get back in our positions. Because like I said earlier, we're so resolute now. I mean,
James, we really are. And once the first goal came, right, we definitely found our groove.
What a picture, by the way. Hang it in the Louvre. What a picture.
I said hang it in the Tate. I'm promoting London now. Screw Paris. I'm promoting London.
Yeah.
Hang it in the Tate. For those listening on audio, it's the picture of Big Gabby holding out the Arsenal flag, at the corner flag, and doing so proudly. What a run, by the way. Now, at that moment in the game, I felt like it needed a couple of our big time players to step up and lead the way. I didn't think Declan had a superb game in the first half. I thought Zubimendi was carrying the midfield again, working in the shadows again. A lot of Arsenal fans want him to be this super pizzazzy player. I say that a lot about the likes of Odegaard and Havertz, and Zubimendi for me just quietly dominates the tempo of the game. And I just thought it was brilliant in the first half. Declan Rice needed that moment. Big Gabby steps up again. A brilliant run, James, to find the ball at the most perfect time. And to get 4 goals past Oblak is really quite something. But that first goal was everything. The delivery, the familiarity, the players kind of settling in and saying, okay, we got our set piece goal. Let's rock and roll from here. But Big Gabby again, coming up with another incredible moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his heading prowess is spoken about enough. I know we speak about it as Arsenal fans, but I think not just on a Premier League level or a European level, I think this guy is arguably one of the best in the world at heading the ball. I don't know. I think Kane and Lewandowski are definitely up there, but he's got to be in there as well for me. I think he's unreal. The way he attacks it from these offensive situations, it's bordering on a cheat code because he's so good at it. He's so good at it, and yeah, it's just again, it's winding everybody up, which is brilliant, but it's winning us the games. I mean, if you're gonna be a specialist at something, why not keep doing it?
Yeah. I know everyone called.
I've got a brother that's in the music industry. If you've got a hit, play your hit, because that's what people want to hear every now and then. Every single time they're like, "Yeah, play your hits," and I'm like, "We play that hit nearly every week, and it's winning. It's doing the job. So yeah, keep playing it."
There's nothing worse than going to a concert where an artist decides on their new album to not play their old hits, and everyone's there for the old hits. It's like, yeah, I want to hear Piano Man. I don't care that you've played it 5,000 times. I want to hear Piano Man. And
I saw Bon Jovi in Hyde Park once, Soph, and apart from the fact that between every song he talks for 45 minutes, it was just like, we don't want to hear. I'm like, we don't want to hear these, man. We want Bad Medicine. We want Always. We want You Give Love a Bad Name. Like, skip this rubbish.
Yeah.
Get the good stuff on.
Lay us down in a bed of roses and sing to us. I saw them at Wembley. I saw them at Wembley Stadium. They were decent. They weren't too bad. Yeah. By the way, Patrick with the line of the night, "Don't hang it in the Louvre. It will get stolen." Very good, Patrick. I like that. Very nice. Okay, so the first goal comes. Absolutely brilliant. Miles Lewis-Skelly and Martinelli's goal, just beautiful, the combination. And then I think we get to the moment of the night. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about here, you guys, because we know Timber's brilliant. We know our defense is brilliant. By the way, we just kept another clean sheet. I mean, this is bordering on insanity. This is going to be the difference this season. Our defense is on another level. I didn't think our defense could go up another level. And the midfield are helping that. The spaces between the midfield and the back line feel like some tweaks from early on in the season. The new relationship of Zubi and Rice seems to be percolating now. Without Odegaard, the fear of not being able to control the tempo of a game and keep the ball. But this back line, whether it's Calafiori playing, whether it's Miles Lewis-Skelly, whether it's Timber, whether it's Benjamin White, and of course David Raya, who did have a moment of madness this evening. But we know that we're brilliant at the back, and keeping another clean sheet is insane. So I lied that I was going to talk about Gyokeres. We'll get to him in a second. James, the defense, the clean sheets, the lack of saves that David Raya had done prior to this match. It's really a credit to how Mikel saw the reverse of Arsene Wenger. It was build from the back, not the front. Wenger was very much building from the front and not the back, and would that cost us kind of being, not effective in the Premier League for a number of years. Talk to me about the Great Wall of Arsenal.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, Arsene Wenger inherited what was arguably the best back four in the country. But then I will admit, I don't think he gets enough credit for the second one that he did build with Sol Campbell and Kolo Touré. I think, he doesn't get enough props for that one as well, with what he did there and with Cole and Lauren also. But yeah, this is arguably the best defence we've had since that Invincibles era, easily. And then and again, it's not just from a defensive standpoint. If you look at this season, Soph, of our players with the output in goals and assists, the defenders are up there more than the than the attacking players. I know Gyokeres is obviously ahead with the goal scoring charts now, but in terms of GA, I think Timber's up there, Calafiori's right up there. So these guys contribute on both ends of the pitch. Lewis-Skelly tonight, like you said earlier, that run and that pass, the assist, they're just all around, defensively and offensively, they can do the lot. And it's just mental. It's mental. It's incredible to see. And I know sometimes people are incredibly reactionary. I've been guilty of it myself, but you've just got to enjoy moments like tonight. I mean, again, like last
Hmm.
season, people were so quick to diminish that Arsenal win against Real Madrid because it just become how bad Real Madrid were, and it was no praise towards Arsenal. Tonight, if you see any of this about how bad Atletico Madrid were and nothing about us,
Nah.
you tell those people to get out. Yeah, because we were,
Yeah.
like you said, 14 minutes was special. But honestly, apart from when they cracked the bar, and then there was that one with Raya as well, where he ran out and he should have scored. And then there was another one that was like a cross-come deflected shot in the second half. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing because we rendered them to nothing with how good we are and how strong we are.
You know, James, and I think it's so significant that it's not Karabag, right? It's not Olympiacos. It's not some random team, from Kazakhstan. This is Atletico Madrid. And they may not be the Atletico Madrid of seasons past, but they still got quality, good players. And they come with a pedigree, and so does their manager. And you're always afraid of the dark arts and the shithousery when it comes to Diego Simeone, but we silenced him tonight. And I think that's huge. I think this is I think there have been seminal moments for Mikel Arteta. In Europe, this feels like a seminal moment, right? Um, last season was huge, beating Real Madrid. That was a seminal moment. I feel like this is a seminal moment from the perspective of, as a manager, really trying to still convince some people that he can hang there with the best. And until he wins one of the big ones, we know he's never, ever going to get the respect that he deserves. But credit should be given where it's due. And what he did in the second half, and people talk about handbrake off, you're so boring. Oh, Arsenal defensive. Jamie O'Hara today. I think Mikel Arteta may have played the team that clip from Sky Sports where Jamie O'Hara said Arsenal are killing the Premier League. You know that scene in Rocky where is it Clubber Lang when he looks in the mirror and he's got a picture of Rocky there and he gets it and he scrunches it up? It's either Clubber Lang or Rocky that look at the picture of one another and just scrunch it up. I think all of this fuels a guy like Mikel Arteta. All this stuff about we don't listen to that, we're not paying attention. Yeah, you do. And it fuels the team. And I think tonight was a message to Europe and a message to everyone in the Premier League that we're different this season. Now, look, I'm not getting too melodramatic and too excited. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. And per my conversation with Tom last night, James, I'm enjoying the moment. I'm not going to let anyone take moments away from me as a fan. Sure, I would like to reach the final destination. But as journeys go, nights like this are special. And Mikel Arteta was masterful tonight. Masterful.
Exactly. I wish I could add a bit of spice and a bit more onto that, Soph. But yeah, you've summed that up as you normally do superbly.
So I'm going to let you take it away then on Victor Gyokeres and what it meant to you, number one, as a fan. Number two, as you read the game. Take it away, James. You get the first bite on Victor.
I'm so happy. I mean, what's getting lost in the moment, and I hope fans can watch it back. The very first goal, I don't know if it was I don't know if feeds are all the same across the world, but when he scores the first one, watch Gabriel Hines and Arteta together. They're like a pair of brothers that have woke up on Christmas morning and they know they've got the Nintendo, the PlayStation, or the Xbox in that wrapping paper. They could, their parents haven't done it properly. There might be a crack and they can see a little logo. They just jump up and down. They are the most happiest people. I got more joy out of watching them two going up and down. I was like, look at them. Look at them. They're loving this. Because he knows how hard he's worked. And Gabriel the other season, didn't he, when we scored at Sporting, did the celebration, taking the mickey. They got to do it together tonight. I think a few of them joined in doing it. It was like when Havertz got the penalty, and I know a lot of people slated that, but I'm like, no, it's for the greater good of the team. They were just amazing, all of them, being so elated for him, and I'm so happy for him because, you know, I got asked the other day, people said to me, is it bothering you that he's not scoring the goals? And I said no, because what he's doing is opening up avenues for other people to score. But I said, I bet you it's pissing him off. And I went, don't worry, because these will, you know, they'll eventually start coming. And yeah, I'm over the moon for him that he got them tonight. And were they two of the best goals ever? Not really. I think one of them, you know, he borderline scored it with his penis, Sophie. But they all count. And you know,
Don't care how they go in, as long as they go in.
Exactly. And, you know, after the first one, even, he sort of took a step back and had a look and went, should I do my celebration really? And he went, no, do you know what? I am actually. And yeah, I'm over the moon for him, because there's a lot of strikers, Soph, especially that are in the Premier League, that had amazing, amazing seasons last season, right? You had
Mhm.
Mo Salah that was top of the tree, Isak second, Chris Wood and Brian and Buemo were tied. Wissa's obviously injured, so you can't count him. And then you had Cunha, Watkins, and Cole Palmer. None of them have been at the level. We're about 12 games into the season each now for every club, barring, you know, some of these ones that aren't in Europe. But I think all the ones I mentioned are. So we've had roughly 11 to 12 games each. Have any of them been held to the stat? Now, consider they've been established in the Prem, and
Mhm.
they're not doing any of the doggy work that Gyokeres is doing, yet they're not hold to the standard that Gyokeres is, because it's very easy, like you said earlier, for a Mr. O'Hara or another one of these people that are glowing in the media per se, to go and take digs at Arsenal because they know people like me or yourself or even the lovely squaddies, we might take a nibble at it. It'll get them a like. Oh, it'll get me a share. It will promote my channel. It will promote whatever I'm. I mean, John Cross today on Sky Sports News, basically slating Goy. I'm like, you're meant to be a fan of the club, John. Abysmal
Yeah.
the way he was talking about Gyokeres today.
This is
Abysmal.
this is what makes it so satisfying. Tom and I were talking about this last night. I promised I wasn't going to bite anymore because I just find it ridiculous now. The kind of lens that people see Arsenal through and some of our players. Like, if you actually watched Arsenal play this season, minute for minute, you would know that Gyokeres, yes, he hasn't scored goals, but he's been so fundamentally important to what we've been doing going forward and why we've been able to crack the low block. It is undeniable, right? So if John Cross, if Jamie O'Hara, if some of these people actually watched us play every single time, every single week, they would know that what they're saying is completely and utterly unfounded. And tonight, for him, and sometimes a striker, like you said, James, it doesn't matter how it goes in, as long as it goes in, right? And you talk about Gabriel, Heinze and Arteta, the joy of his teammates, that moment. And I was saying, like, after the Fulham game as well, which was a tough nut to crack, the players, the title of that show was Smells Like Team Spirit. There is something very special about this group of players. And no matter who comes in, the culture and the DNA and the profile of what Mikel wants the team to be stays intact, right? There's no one going rogue. Everyone has bought into what he's doing, the players that have been there for a number of seasons and the new players that have come in. The way they were happy for Victor Gyokeres, and Mikel Merino said it in his presser yesterday, he's scoring in training, he's working hard, like you could see it, the goals will come. And the next day, the goals came. And all he needed was for the ball to cross the line. And no matter how it crossed the line, now it will give him every confidence going into that Crystal Palace match as well, James. It was a huge night for Victor Gyokeres, a huge night for the team, a huge night for Mikel Arteta, and a signature moment for Arsenal in the Champions League to absolutely dominate another Madrid team and embarrass them on the night. Massive.
Exactly. And, you know, people hold these other clubs that are in our country to standards, and they scraped a 3-2 win against them. They didn't convict, you know, we're meant to be boring, yet we've absolutely bumped them. And yet the team that everybody loves and thinks is entertaining just scrapped a 3-2 win against them.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Exactly. And I love, where is it? Someone said, I'm loving the hate this season. Yeah, because other seasons it's really bothered me. And this season, I'm kind of feeding off it. And maybe it's because we have a deeper squad. Maybe it's because we can be a little tiny bit cocky with Odegaard's out. Well, Eza can come in, Waneri can come in. You've got all these options. Look at how we rotated. Mikel getting smarter about subs, not playing his best. He doesn't have to do that anymore. And, you know, what a night for Andrea Berta as well. Going up against his old club, James, where he enjoyed bringing a lot of success to, you know, Diego Simeone and the club, and a massive night for Berta. And what a way to see all of your new signings and people get a run out, and Gyokeres, you know, dominate in front of your old team. A good night for Berta as well. I'm sure he enjoyed that too.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. And again, it's the fruits of his labor coming to fruition for the team. And again, I go back to that very first interview, and he's only done the one, I believe. He hasn't done one since. And he said, didn't he, this club does competing and I do winning, and I'm going to turn competing into winning. And I'm like, we're doing a lot of winning at the moment. It's a good bit of winning. It's a lovely bit of winning, especially when I'll take a few more of these tonight, and I'll take a few more 1-0s against Fulham as well. I think before, Soph, we have been guilty with the style of how we've done things. And I think now it's just like, look, we just got to get it done.
Exactly, James.
If it annoys people along the way, so be it. I'm old. I'm 34. I grew up on Arsenal.
You really saying that in front of me? You're actually saying that?
Well, yeah, but you know, there's a lot of younglings that don't remember Arsenal back in the day and how we used to play. You know, I used to sit there with my dad and I go, if you want to be entertained, go down West Ham. You won't win nothing, but you'll be entertained. Because they were the ones that played all the pizzazz stuff when I was young.
That didn't happen last night, that's for sure. And it's not happening now. I know, Ryan, 34, old. I mean, seriously, I think we'll just skip past that one, considering I'm everyone's mother here. BX Gunner, it is about the players.
You look younger than me, it's fine. I sleep on my face.
BX Gunner, we're giving our manager kudos, and I believe that we've given a ton of kudos to Miles Lewis-Skelly and to Timber, to the back. We spoke for 10 minutes about the defense. This is definitely about the players tonight, but also the manager deserves credit for turning it around at halftime together. This is like credit to every single person who put an Arsenal shirt on tonight. Credit to Mikel and his staff for getting the squad ready for tonight. This was a huge, huge test. And after kind of finding some momentum and discovering who we really want to be in the Premier League, the Champions League has been a really good vibe for us as fans. And getting to the semi-final last season was incredible. You know, maybe this Arsenal team maybe beats that PSG team. I don't know. We're going to find out down the road as we go. We're not going to get too carried away with ourselves. James, what have I not mentioned or asked you about that you really want to highlight from the match tonight?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, again, I think it's been pretty much covered from pillar to post, but I'll add to something that you said, and you said about the togetherness. And I think, you know, as someone that has sat here in many, many incarnations of your shows with tons of different people, and I've always felt respected enough to come on here and say what I want and what I feel. And maybe sometimes it was a bit vitriolic towards Arteta and to what Arteta was doing. But I think you have to be just either you're in it for the wrong reasons or you're bordering on delusional if you cannot see that there is not just a shift in obviously the players that we've brought in and what they've brought into the team, but a shift in him as a manager for how, like you said, the subs and the time. I mean, Gyokeres going off on 81 minutes when he's got 2 goals. people would have gone, oh, why is he doing that? He's on a hat trick. But no, he's my only fit striker, save him for the weekend. He's got his 2 goals. He's going to be clapped to high head. You know, everyone's going to stand up out of that seat and scream their heads off, even though he hasn't, you know, for his 2 goals tonight. Save him for the next one. Get
That's
Marino
good man
on.
management.
Exactly.
That's good man management.
Exactly. He's got so much better on just the timing of when he does them. And like you said, with the lineup, I didn't think that Lewis Skelly was probably going to play today. I didn't think that Eze was even going to start today. But they come in, they do their job, and they do their job well. I mean, again, when Martinelli scored and he does his knee slide and everything, Calafiori's right there at the front when they go over near him to do a little huddle. He hugs Lewis Skelly straight away. Even though they're competing with each other for that position, he makes a beeline to hug Lewis Skelly to be like, yes, mate, well done on that run, well done on that assist. Because they're like, if we're going to win anything this season, all of us have to contribute. Not just one, every single one of us. I mean, Saka, Soph, we were all panicking when he come back, like, oh my God, is he going to be? And now he's been promoted to vice captain. He's got the armband on, so there's even more pressure on him. And he's going back to the levels that he was of a season ago, before he got injured. He's been absolutely superb the last couple of games, Saka. All that panicking and worrying about him, he's been superb. And we're doing all this. We still got Madueke and Havertz to come back. And they're 2 massively important players to come back as well.
Yeah.
It's a really good
huge.
feeling.
And the fact that they're happy for each other, because Trossard hugged Martinelli too. The fact that they're happy for each other doesn't mean that they're not competitive. It's the essence of kind of like when you've bought into a sports team ethos, and you know, like you just said, what it's going to take to win. I can't play all the time, but as long as I play and I'm happy for my team, it's the joy of playing together and knowing you're heading towards one common goal. And that's why you see those moments. They've all bought into what Mikel's selling and what they've sold to each other, to trust each other, because players have to trust each other on the pitch. And there's this level of trust now, no matter who comes in and who plays, that, you know, they trust each other. Let's do our player of the match. Who's your player of the match, Squaddies? Let us know in the live chat. Let us know in the YouTube comments, and also on our audio platforms. Let us know who your player of the match was. James, who was your player of the match? It's a tough one in this one.
It is, but just for the emotional connection and the fact that I really wanted this player for about 2 years, and now he's got his 2 goals. So I'm going to hit one of them just to be that guy. It's got to be Gyokeres. But you are spot on with what you said earlier. I thought Zubamendi, especially first half. I mean, again, Soph, what did I tell everybody on here and everywhere else? Constantly getting berated for not wanting the previous custodian of that role to sign a new contract. James, what you're doing? Oh, this is typical of you. You're such a reactionary guy. Oh, he's been brilliant. I said, regardless of how well he's been this season, that guy's going one way, and it's decline. And I said, within 10 games of the next season, you won't miss him at all, because Zubamendi is such an upgrade on that previous custodian of that number 6 role. And look at him. Look at him.
Yeah.
We have been such a side that has only really used one side of the pitch normally, Sophie. We've been such a right side dominant team for years. Zubamendi goes, I'm going to use every single blade of that grass. So I might play straight down the middle. I might go right. I might go left. I might go backwards. I might have a run and have a shot myself. He's that good. He is such a superb player. And we said it on here as well, that eventually when Rice gets the hang of it and goes, I might be able to play 10 yards further up with this guy. And it's happening at the moment. Rice has been so good. I mean, first half quiet, but then he just turns into this monster in the second half of game. He grows into games. and just becomes animalistic in what he does. I mean, I don't think he's respected enough as an athlete. The guy goes up and down, up and down, up. I mean, Xhaka used to be a marathon man. I think this guy, he's unreal.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think Zubi was just stupendous in the first half. And Declan, whatever again was said at halftime, he doesn't give up. No one hides in this team. We've seen players before play for Arsenal Football Club hide in games, and it's been shameful. Sometimes the apathy in the past has just been nothing short of embarrassing. Nobody is hiding. Look at Gyokeres, for example. He's got the pressure of the world on him. Everyone's talking about him. Is he going to be a flop? Even some of our own fans starting to question. And he has never hidden in any game. He's been going for balls where he knows there might be a lost ball and it might make him look sluggish or slow, but he won't give up. And that's the beautiful part of this team, I think, too, is the never giving up or hiding in games. And that is huge when it comes to mentality. There's something different about our mentality. I hope that mentality is still going to be intact when it comes to like March, April, May. That is going to be critical important.
You've been a part of big teams and big productions in what you've done with your work previously. You know, especially like in a set sort of scenario, you got to make sure everything's functioning. Everything, every single person in there is valued, and every single person in there's got to contribute to this greater good that we're making.
Mm-hmm.
And to harvest that with every single individual, but as well as when you've been so close to getting something, and then you keep failing. Well, failing is a really harsh word to say, but it is, isn't it? You're not winning it, so you're failing winning it, really. And I guess these lot have been, they've licked their wounds so often that they're like, I'm not doing that again.
Well, the production is different. The production is different now, right?
Yes.
You've got better actors, right? The director is the same, but the producer changed. The producer is Andrea Berta, right? We knew the director could make good movies, but he just needed a bit more talent to really make it an A-list cast. And this season, I think we've gone from like a C movie in the past to a B movie. And now, we're not Scorsese yet, but, are we David Fincher or Christopher Nolan? I think that we are creating a quality story and one that I hope turns into an incredible, movie by the end of the season. But there's definitely better actors. The director has really gone from kind of making independent movies to maybe a blockbuster, but the producer is the one that has enabled the director to be able to kind of really put the pieces together. And I think, people who've also moaned about our owners who've kind of pulled the trigger and made some decisions, there's just something turnkey about us this season. My player of the match is Victor Gyokeres. I think he deserves it. I would love to pick Miles Lewis-Skelly or Martinelli, Zubimendi, Big Gabby. But tonight it goes to Victor because not only did he get the 2 goals, but he absolutely hustled in that match. And the signature performance was going to be for him to get a goal. And then he gets a brace. So Victor Gyokeres, for me, walks away with player of the match and so deserved. And at some point, he's going to need a break too, James. He's played a lot of minutes, didn't have a preseason. So we got to start thinking about maybe protecting him. I wouldn't mind if in a game coming up against, a lesser opponent, we see Miguel Merino up front or Martinelli up front.
Yeah,
I think against Crystal Palace, play him against Palace for sure.
Yeah.
Let him get more goals, hopefully.
Hopefully, if when that Brighton League Cup game comes along, that's when Havertz will be touching grass. So, yeah, he definitely, for him to come in and basically having to play every single minute, like you said, I don't think that was how he was intended to be. I thought he was going to be eased in. I was shocked the very first game when he started against Man United. So I thought he was going to be eased into the team. But yeah, there's
no Havertz, right? So he
exactly, needs
to throw him into the fire. Yeah,
it couldn't be happier for him tonight. With massive get moment for him, and that will kick him on now. I feel so. Yeah, happy days.
And here's what we need to do, right? So you have a tough London derby win against Fulham. You go into a really tough, what could be an exceptionally physical game against Diego Simeone side midweek in Europe. Now you get another London derby against a much better team than Fulham. I think Crystal Palace under Glasner have really just been a joy to watch. They're the Bournemouth Palace game was unreal last weekend, and we know that they've got players who can create issues for us, but we also know they have a manager who may have a trick or two up his sleeve. And so consistency now, James, that's the next big test, right? Can you do this week in, week out? Now, will we falter along the way somewhere? Perhaps, yeah. But consistency, putting in this energy and these performances week in, week out, that's the big test now for this Mikel Arteta team. Would you agree with that?
100%. When that running come out and everyone was like, "Oh, I'm worried about that game. I'm worried about this game." I said this block was the one I was worried about the most, because these are the ones that he drops the points against. And so far, we haven't faltered. So I can only go off what I'm seeing, and what I'm seeing is wins and points on the board. So long may it continue. Crystal
Yeah.
Palace, like you said, that's not going to be that's not a gimme.
No, it's not.
Although we pumped them by 5 or so last season, it's not a gimme game. So yeah, I think that'll be a really, really good one at the weekend. And
A good
yeah,
one for Eza. This is the
exactly. Yeah,
moment for him
that's another
to have
factor
his
in there.
signature moment. He
Yeah,
was good tonight, but again, he's not lighting the world on fire. But you don't need every player to light every game on fire. That's the good thing about having a good squad, right? Tonight, it felt like most of the players had a really good game, and it's magic when that happens. But this is a weekend for him to really truly shine as well. And sometimes you just need you got the pizzazz, right? And you don't need pizzazz all the way across the pitch. You need effectiveness. I thought he was effective tonight, but this coming weekend is a really big opportunity for him to have a signature moment. The pass against Manchester City was a good moment, but you need to kind of build on that. I expect more from him. I said that to Tom last night. Not being too harsh here, but I really think that at some point it will click with Eze and he'll come into his own. And I'm hoping it will be against his former club, James. He needs to have a big moment.
will be a big moment. I think he'll do a Rice. He won't celebrate if he does anything. I think he's too, I think he's too polite as a lad.
Kai Havertz is the only one that he's like, rip my shirt off.
Yeah, but I mean, look at him. Look what they were chanting at him. So I'm like,
It's true.
I don't. Palace, Palace aren't even like West Ham fans. They know that it's benefited them with the money that come in, and they're like, look, he won us an FA Cup, he won us a Community Shield, so off you go, type thing. They respect. They respect him. I think they're not that bitter and sour like the Irons are. And like you said earlier, look where that's got them.
Oh my
Look
God.
where that's got them. Yeah.
That's terrible. Josh giving us the debrief. Have you checked socials? Rivals tears are the best, Sophie. I cannot wait to get off here and just watch.
It's easier to moan about Arsenal than it is to critique their own teams at the moment, Sophie.
It's amazing, amazing stuff. Listen, it's been brilliant, and what a brilliant night for us in Europe. Just one of those matches that you really enjoy. And the gaffer for me gets a 10 out of 10 tonight, James, on the exit. What do you give the gaffer?
Oh, easily big tens. Yeah, definitely. And big 10 to you as well, Soph, because I know you're going for the ringer a bit at the moment. And I've been there myself for certain times and certain things. And I'll admit, this watching football was basically the only solace I could have. So I know how important that is when you're going through the ringer. And yeah, I hope that we keep doing what we're doing and we keep winning, Soph, because it does make a difference. I know some people think, oh, it's just a bloody game, or I don't know how you get this emotionally. It really makes a difference. That 90 minutes where you can just focus on something else than what everything else is going on, it's bloody massive. So yeah, big 10 for you as well, Soph.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No,
And
you're
it
welcome.
really is. As the wise man once said, winning cures everything.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
certainly curing
Exactly.
us right now. Speaking of the big man, in case you missed it, go to our video section. Magic Mike spoke to Perry Groves last night about the event that's coming up on Friday at the Irish Centre. The info is in the link of that show. It's also in the link of last night's show for Monday Madness. I'll put it in this one too. If you're in London and you want to go check out a night and have a night with some legends, including Martin Keown, Paul Davis, Nigel Winterburn, and Perry Groves. They're all available to you for a chat
And
and a
Magic
meet and
Mike's there as
greet.
well.
And Magic Mike is there as well, of course. Where else would he be? So please go check that out and give the show a listen to. Kev's sister gives an update on the foundation as well. But tonight, the night belongs to Mikel Arteta, to Andrea Berta, and to the players, and especially Mr. Victor Gyokeres, who has been under fire but delivered tonight in more ways than we had hoped that he would. And for those listening on audio, please know that right now I'm showing an iconic picture of Victor Gyokeres and Big Gabby doing the mask celebration. I think we'll enjoy this one for tonight. This is an epic shot. And listen, enjoy the moment. Don't let anyone take it away from you. Don't let anyone tell you that we're getting too excited or that Arsenal fans, here they go again. This is dominant stuff. When you look at what we're doing at the back and what we're not giving away, that is huge in football. It is so hard to do that. I don't think people realize just how difficult it is to keep clean sheets in football. And when you also now have the creativity that we do and the depth, this could end up being quite a season. We'll enjoy it as we go and we'll enjoy it together. Until next time, kids, make sure you don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them. Keep abreast on the community page for the next live show. Got some great guests that will be coming up. Appreciate each and every one of you. James, let everyone know what you've got coming up on your show. You can follow James here at LLCallJames91. What you got coming up?
Yeah, we will just be doing the same as what we've done here. There'll be another wax lyrical fun review about Atletico Madrid. So if you want more of a loving as opposed to the loving that's already gone here, then you're more than welcome to come along and join. I will take as many of you that are here as you would like to come along.
Brilliant stuff. Please go give him a subscribe as well. And follow James at LLCallJames91. If you're listening on replay, thanks again for making us part of your day. Remember, our Chief Like Officer says, don't forget to hit the like button if you're listening on replay too. To those listening on Apple and Spotify, appreciate you, whether it's been working out, driving to work, in the bath, listening to us talk about our beloved Arsenal Football Club, who had a very special night.
That's made me
in
feel
Europe.
really weird, but don't worry, I'm going to roll with it.
You can hear the bubbles now.
Yeah,
Good
no,
night,
the
everyone.
thought of people listening to me in the bath just freaks me out, but yeah, okay.
Good night, everyone. At ease, at ease. Love you, squaddies. Take care.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
How about running on the treadmill? That better for you, James, rather than the bubble bath? Yeah, I thought so.